big news today. Wait for it, ladies. Apparently, men are more predictable than women. And they call that news. Scientists, apparently, have found that blokes are more likely to settle in their ways early on in life, while women are more fickle and adapt their behaviour, of course, to their ever-changing circumstances. So, do we want our partners to be predictable, or would we rather have somebody a little more spontaneous at our side?
Well, I'm all for a bit of spontaneity, aren't you, ladies? Absolutely. Well, I think, he used to be really quite spontaneous. In fact, the most spontaneous thing he ever did was marry me, because that happened in, like, a nanosecond. You know, we met and that was it, we were off. Really? You know, I just looked at my watch and I'd had 2 kids. It was just incredible how quick that all happened and how spontaneous that was. But I think he's got a little bit more predictable as he's got older. Or is it predictable, though, or is it dependable? Because, you know, he is lovely, my husband, and he is very, very dependable. But, you know, I wouldn't mind him just saying to me, come on, love, let's chuck up the jobs and go and do a camper van round North America or something. I mean, part of me just longs to do that.
Would he do
well, I maybe if he's watching, I just need to... I find I have to plant the idea these days. Do you find that, ladies? You do, don't you?
Itinerary and just leave it lying around.
Then they think it's their idea, and then you get to do it. Because, you see, the thing is, I think women live a lot more in their imaginations than men. You know, we fantasise a lot more, we dream a lot more, and I think that's why we're spontaneous, because, you know, we find ourselves either doing that or wanting to do that.
Yeah, you're right, because women change all the time, don't they? I mean, we change hour to hour, don't we? I don't know who I am. Who is she? I mean, you know, tomorrow I'll be somebody else completely. and I think men have a one-track mind, haven't they? You know, yes, quite. And I think that's why they're predictable, because they have that channel that they live in. They don't have another one.
When you say one track, you mean they're only able to think about one thing at any given time?
Absolutely. They you know, when they drive... They drive. When we drive, we're cooking, washing, cleaning, getting the kids, making the dinner, putting the makeup on, and drive, you see? So they have to be predictable because they have to keep into that little pattern of their little world, don't they?
I don't think that makes them predictable. I just think it makes them, you know...
boring.
Simple. Oh. And I mean that. I mean it in the nicest possible way. They are easier to read, aren't they? You know, you do kind of know what they're going to do and what they're going to say next. But I don't think it's particularly men that do that. I think we all are. I think as you get older, you do get more predictable. You do get more set in your ways. But let me tell you, I used to live with someone who was... I mean, so ridiculously spontaneous that you could never be at home. You were always like, come on, let's get in the car, let's drive around the country, let's do this, let's do that, all the time. And I tell you what, it was completely exhausting. I really actually wanted a little bit of predictability from him, and there wasn't any. It was always...
Well, you have to both, though, don't you, you see? That's the thing.
Well, you do. You go along with it, but, you know, you are sometimes hankering after a nice, sort of normal night in front of the telly, but it never happened, you know. Yeah. And it was quite tiring. So, you know, Mark is a little bit predictable in the sense I know exactly what he's going to say and do most of the time. But it's cute. You know, I like that because I think I equate that with reliability. I do. I think he's dependable and he's reliable. And if that makes him predictable, then I don't care. He can be predictable.
We're all predictable in our own ways. I mean, you can, when you've been with somebody for a long time, you can second-guess them. And you do that thing that you do as kids in the back of the car with your parents up front, where you mock them. And I could tell, last night, Darren went out for a run, right? He's been on a fitness thing since Sunday. So it's 3 days, You'd honestly think he was training for the Olympics. And every time we drive up and down our road now, I know that for the next week he'll go, oh, it's her, so kill her on the way back. You know why? It's a hill. No, it's not, is it? I never knew we lived on a hill. I'd never noticed. But it will come up time and time again. And every time, I'll just quietly go, really? Like it's the first time I've...
You can almost mouth the words as they're saying it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And I think that's called familiarity, not predictability.
It's nice. You need spontaneity. I miss my flask and sandwiches in the car. That's what I call spontaneity.
And on that mad note, Sherrie...